Back in 2002, I was living in Somaliland, and I had sold my house in the UK, and I was looking to buy somewhere in Europe, somewhere close to the sea, somewhere where I could keep my books because I was going to be an aid worker forever. I ended up going to Sarajevo to see a Canadian friend of mine who decided that she would show me where the best places were on the Croatian coast. And I ended up coming to Hvar. We had one weekend to look for a property. There was one house for sale. It was Vela Gospa, which is August the 15th, is the assumption. It's a huge holiday in Croatia. And Jelsa was really, really rocking. I decided to buy the house. It was 41,000 euros. The next day on the Sunday, we went to the lawyer in Hvar town. We signed a piece of paper. He spilled his cigarette ash over this one-page contract, and on the Monday morning I paid my deposit. And all my friends were crazy because they were like, why are you living again in a war zone? Because I'd lived in Rwanda and Somalia, places like that. And Hvar was such a beautiful, beautiful place, and Jelsa, even though there had been war 7 years before in Croatia. I came back in September. I went to the Javni Bilježnik, public notary. I signed my contract, I got all the stamps, I got the keys to the apartment, everything was there, all fine. I went down to the cafe to have a drink to celebrate, and it was a bit emptier than it had been in August. We're now in the middle of September. I was a bit confused because there were so many people here a month before, and now they'd all gone. And we had this internet cafe which was open from 7 in the morning till 11 at night during August. And when I got back in September, it was open from 9 o'clock until 1 o'clock, and then 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock. And then the next week it was open from 10 o'clock till 12 o'clock, and from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock. And the next week it was closed. And I went to the same restaurant every night, Faros, and at the end of September it was closed. And I saw the waiter on the cafe the next day, and I said, the restaurant's not open. Well, why is that? He said, well, we're closed now. And I said, well, when are you opening again? And he said, in May. And I was like, May? How is it possible you can run a restaurant that is closed 7 months a year? And it was only at that moment I realized that I'd bought a house on a Dalmatian island which was famous for its tourism for 3 or 4 months a year. And as I saw everything closing, I really began to wonder, would there even be a supermarket open in the winter? And then I realized I didn't actually have my own address. I didn't know where I lived. I went to the post office with my contract and I asked them, how do I get letters delivered here? They said, if you want letters delivered, we can do that. They asked, did you actually buy this house? And I said, yes. Are you living here all the time? And I said, yes. And they just laughed. And I went home a little bit concerned, and then it got a bit colder, so I went to look for the heating. And there was no heating because this was a holiday home. I realized that maybe I'd made rather a spontaneous purchase, which turned out to be the best of my life.